What's up, everyone? It's my second video I'm gonna post today. This video is gonna be on what are you doing? What have you done during COVID? I've made a bunch of videos and then I've deleted some, and I've spoken about how some of my content, I want some of my content to be more remote. Oh, shout out to Michelle Choi. What the fuck is it called? A Little Puffy Club. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, the shirt, but it's all good. Like this shirt, nice sweater. Anyways, you can probably see it on the back a little bit, right? Maybe, right? Little Puffy Club. I'm sure you can see it now, right? You can, on me, right? Anyways, we're not gonna. The whole, I did say that I wanted to provide more motivation. I wanted to provide, make an effort to speak about more things in detail that, are very fruitful for people, like motivation and tips and all that stuff. And this is gonna be like a motivation about you getting in your bag, you being on your shit. So this conversation, this video is gonna be on what have you done during COVID? I mean, what have you done for yourself mentally? What have you done for yourself physically? What have you done in terms of your ideal self, improving your life, when there's been so many negative things going on in the last 2-3 years with COVID? What have you done? I'm just gonna vomit some of this out. I haven't really been clear. I haven't didn't create like an outline for this, but we can still go. First thing is financially. How many people worked throughout this entire COVID, made below $75,000 or met the threshold to get some money from the stimulus? What did you do with that stimulus money? What did you do compared to the people who haven't had jobs since March? Because the unemployment rate hasn't dropped back to what it was before COVID started. What have you been doing? What'd you do with that money? Did you pick up a hobby? What'd you do with it? Did you try to invest in yourself, or did you end up blowing it on shit? Did you pay some of your bills in advance? What'd you do with the stimulus? Did you think it was just another money bump? Think about what the stimulus is. For a long time, we've complained about how much the government doesn't assist us, and it took fucking clawing our fucking asses off to get a stimulus check. These last three stimulus, this is so rare for you to get any assistance in your life from the government like this, just being a person who's not out of a job completely, or homeless, or in some welfare program or a social insurance program. You got $2,800, hypothetically $3,400 you never expected. What'd you do with it? And this is a very unique time in the world. This is probably never gonna happen again, or in terms of getting some assistance from the government like this financially, it'll probably never happen again. It can, hypothetically, politically, if we were, as consistent, as effective as we should be with politics, it can be. But, me being realistic, niggas don't even give a fuck about each other. Niggas don't even vote, so I doubt that's gonna happen. What have people done with, this is very rare for you to get a bump like this. You get money and you get extra time. I want to speak into time a little bit later on, but with money and time, what have you done with that stimulus? In terms of your actual self and your ideal self, in terms of there being problems in your life, what did this year allow you to do for yourself? Did you work on yourself? Did you let some of the reception of the world get to your head? Did you let some of the energy of the world get to your head? Did you just sit inside? Did you just do nothing? Did you just drink? Did you just smoke? Did you just poison yourself? Or did you read? Or did you work a little bit on that little shit with money? What did you do with that stimulus money? A lot of people are still talking about they want more stimulus, they want another. What the fuck did you do with the money you've been working the entire time? What'd you do with that money that you got? What'd you do? And you want more? Here's the reality check. If your life was still moving in the direction it was anyway before COVID, and you just had to get a little bit more PPE, and you managed to blow that money, you need to reevaluate your life. Don't say that you need more money, because that's money you did not expect. What did you do with it? I don't know, a credit score or something. What'd you do? Did you open some credit building account, I guess? What'd you do? What have you done this time to improve yourself? You gotta be in your bag. So what have you done? The reason I want to say this is the country's about to open up. We'll go into the time, then I'm going to the time after this. The country's about to open up, or the world is about to open up at this time. The world, the universe, people not giving a fuck about each other, people being so caught up in their own brains, people being caught up in their own self. This allowed people to, this fucked up shit that people do, that allowed them to destroy each other so much and kill 500,000 people, at least in the United States. This also allowed you to hunker down. What did you do? Now let's think about time. You know, what do you do? Partying. What have you done with your time? Even if it's not a financial thing, how have you given yourself knowledge to improve your life during COVID? What have you done? I know everybody has their different threshold for stress. I know everybody has this, but there has to have at least been something you were doing during this entire thing. A lot of people's family members didn't die. A lot of people had jobs. A lot of people make below $75,000. A lot of people got stimulus assistance, and they were not really in any worse situation before then, and they got a bump. What did you do to help yourself after the world goes back to normalcy? You ever heard like the early bird gets the worm, all these things? The idea is when somebody else is sleeping, another person's working. When the universe was sleeping, what were you doing? Were you working on yourself? I did the financial part first because I don't want to make it seem like it only should be money. I'm not saying that, but you know, even the concept of money, what does money give you? Like in terms of what you want yourself to be, there's so many times people have said with themselves, they said, I don't have enough money. This time, in this instance, I don't have enough time. What did you do with this entire year plus? Were you still making an effort to go out? Were you one of them people who got COVID because you were traveling around the city? Yeah, those were cheap flights. Those were cheap flights. That's probably why you did that, right? Those were cheap flights. You got cheap flights because you thought it was lit. You wanted to turn up. But the turn up is always there. This is one of the only times you got time to be by yourself and not do shit around anybody. This is the time to get money and then get some assistance from the government while you get time and work on yourself. What did you do? You didn't do anything? So when the world returns back to normalcy, you're gonna be stuck at the same spot or even worse than you were before then? That shouldn't be the case. That's for everybody and everybody. That should not be the case at all. That shouldn't be the case at all for you. You should have had to elevate. There should have been short-term, medium, long-term goals. There should have been some incremental improvement, some incremental action towards your ideal self you were pushing for during COVID. There should have been. Or it's not too late. And then I'll go into the next thing, okay? So what have you done? You need to make sure that you've been trying to do something to improve yourself. Because the reality is, at the end of the day, with all this done, at the end of the day, if you're still stuck or there's still something that you didn't do this time that you could have done, you can only, if there were no improvements during COVID for you and you weren't really impacted that much from it, that you should do some evaluating. You should not think 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later. You should realize that whatever may have happened to you now, whatever happened to you in 4 years, it's on you. Because the little bumps, the little time you had to stay in, be on your bag, be on your shit, and then come out when everybody else is on you, you fell for the trap. The universe gave you the opportunity to work on yourself. If you don't have anything to show for it, for yourself, I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about yourself. If you don't have anything to show for yourself and your idea is, man, well, everybody was down, that's not true. A lot of people were in their bag during COVID. A lot of people made more money during COVID. What'd you do? What'd you do? Did you live it up? A lot of people made some little increment. They're smarter in something now. They picked up skills. They picked up a new skill. Their hobby's better. What'd you do? You ain't do nothing. You got to be aware, because what's going to happen right now? The world is going to open up, it's going to go to a form of normalcy again, and we're going to see the result of people having the time to be by themselves. And what I'm seeing online and what I'm seeing, it's not looking good. Just in terms of my circle, it's not looking good in terms of what some of these people may have done of what they were supposed to, or what you expected to do. Because so many people you talk to all the time, they have all these dreams, they want to do all these things, they complain about things, they complain about how they don't have time, they complain about how they have no money. All these conversations you have with your friends, what have they done in this last year? What do you know that they've done in the last year to change that? Is this all just drunk speaking? Is this all just, you know, dream living? Is this all when y'all are all under the influence? Is that the only time this shit's being done? Is this the only time is this what it is? That what it is? It's just a Cabo thing? It's just small talk? You weren't able to do anything during COVID for this to improve yourself. You have to be aware of the reality. When the world opens back up, you screwed yourself over. You were supposed to be the bird getting the worm. You're supposed to be the bird up early getting the worm. The early is the early comparison. The early is the country shutting down. Where were you? What were you doing? I want this to be tough or whatever, but I don't know. But the point is, you got to be tough on yourself. You got to be aware with yourself, because when this shit opens back up, or when the world goes to where it is, think about times you didn't do something and you should have done something. You coulda, shoulda, woulda. Why would you put yourself in a situation where you coulda, shoulda, woulda, you coulda, shoulda done something during this time and you didn't do anything? There's no excuse. There's no excuse for many people. There's no excuse to not be in your bag. There's no excuse to not get that skill. There's no excuse to not sign up for that college course, or there's no excuse to not, you know, make an effort to get in the path of going back to school if you wanted to go back to school. Whatever it is, it's to your life. There's really no excuse for many people. And I know, because people fail, they fall short, they lack discipline and all these things. They're gonna make excuses for the fact that their life is at the same stage it was before COVID and after COVID, and it shouldn't be. So I want people to just, you know, go through this and listen to this and do your research and try to improve yourself. Blinkist, Coursera, Khan Academy, YouTube, fucking something. What did you want to do? You have an actual self, and then you have an ideal self. What is your ideal self, and what actions have you taken to get into your ideal self during this? You gotta do it. Because a lot of people right now, they turned up the entire time. And you know what those people are gonna do? They're gonna be sad when this shit opens back up. They're gonna be broke. They ain't gonna have nothing to do. They're gonna be asking for stimulus, blah, blah. Man, that's over with. You have more than enough help. You have more than enough help. Yes, you have assistance. Yeah, you got time. You're not supposed to be going out. And another thing now, because I'm gonna go into COVID like I said I was going to my last video. Not only are there negatives occurring in these people's life in the future that I know are gonna happen anyway, they're contributing to COVID spreading. Everybody should be in their bag on their time, and not in, when I mean in your bag, I don't mean money bag. So I want time again. So this is maybe a monetary thing and just emotional thing. Everybody should have been on it. Everybody should have been in their bag. The reason COVID is spreading is because it's replicating. And why is it replicating? Because niggas people keep being around each other. You don't need laws to understand science. You don't need these things. But people, again, they're making excuses for whatever it may be. They think the turn up they think the turn up is not gonna wait. The turn up is gonna wait. The turn up is always there. Most of your friends, they're not gonna die of COVID. You're young. Many people are young. What are you doing? What are you doing being a part of the asymptomatic transmission around, going out and eating and drinking? What are you doing? What is this? What is this? What is this? Now, I also want to be a little bit realistic or have some charity for younger people, because idea of them having ultra discipline, all that, you know, it's different for kids, right? And you know, we've definitely had some difficulty changing how we interact, and a lot of the things we take for granted in summertime and all these things in high school, you know, we haven't taken into account, you know, how much people had, and how this is like probably one of the first generations to deal with none of that, lack of interaction, masks and shit going on. I understand there's some difference, but you haven't really seen positive results of people doing this. You haven't seen positive results. You haven't seen that. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. I haven't seen history. I have not seen for COVID yet, when it comes to people using the same line of thinking that keeping them broke and not having them skills. I have not seen some of the other negative consequences are this, are our COVID cases increasing, or plateaus even though vaccinations are up, or surges all over the place. Some countries got more time, more stimulus. What did people do? What'd you do? And in general, I guess, what are you doing with your time? There are 24 hours in a day. What are you doing? You need to improve yourself for yourself. And not only that, you're able to help other people. Right? Right? In this instance, it's not just you being selfish and doing all that. You're actually, a lot of people have actually spread COVID towards other people. I've not gotten COVID. I've not passed it to anyone a year plus, and I'm happy for that. How many people can say that? How many people, because they're immune to they think they're immune to COVID because they got COVID before, oh, I'm good now, I can fly everywhere. That's not a good line of thinking. It's not good. So in general, people need to make an effort to improve themselves, and many times be aware of the impact of your actions, because many of your actions is not just impacting you, it's impacting people around you. And you know, in terms of being selfish and even doing shit that you wanted to do for yourself, you even negatively impacted your family sometimes with COVID. Where could your, you know, I guess that's another example, you know, your family. What could you have done for your family where they would have been in better shape with this time down and this money that you ain't do? You blew it on some nonsense. Try to apply this to your own life. There's still not, it's not too late. It's not too late, but this is to help people, because when it comes to in your lifetime having the opportunity to have more time and money, assistance from the universe giving you time, you had it. What did you do with it? Like, comment, subscribe, all that. GG. And comment down if you know, comment if you know comment your thoughts on this. Anyone, and please comment, because I see people still watching the videos, even though it's a small amount of you people still watching. I thank everybody who watches, even though it's 1 or 2 or 3. I see you're watching it consistency. I see you're watching it watching my vids all the way through. Comment, you know, I don't bite, you know. I appreciate any advice or some tips or statements people want to say, you know. But you know, this is for a benefit of people. We're trying to elevate people. We're trying to inform people. We're trying to gain utility and people, provide more utility to people's lives. So all that stuff. Get informed about COVID. All that shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Love you all. Be safe.